All the provisions ensuring the independence of anti-corruption institutions will be included. This will be a significant presidential bill, and we will diligently implement it as an integral part of our comprehensive national transformation strategy.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has promised a new bill to uphold the rule of law just a day after signing a controversial law that critics say weakens the country's key anti-corruption watchdogs.
I propose to accept in its second reading and in total, with all its judicial amendments, continues over screen reading what Stefanchuk says, the draft law on amendments to the Criminal Procedure Code of Ukraine regarding the peculiarities of pre-trial investigation of criminal offenses related to the disappearance of missing persons in special circumstances under martial law. Component placement registration number 12414 to accept in its second reading and in total with all its judicial amendments. Please vote.
I state that I immediately register an appeal to block the vote, and I request that no shortened
За 263 рішення прийнято. Покажіть по фракціях. З процедури Бужанський, будь ласка.
Massive protests erupted in Kyiv for a second straight day as thousands hit the streets to oppose what they call a betrayal in the fight against corruption, especially as war continues to devastate the nation. European leaders have raised red flags over the new legislation passed by Ukraine's parliament, which undercuts the independence of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, NABU, and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. Zelenskyy tried to reassure citizens, saying, "We hear society. We see what people expect from the state institutions, justice and efficiency."
Greetings, dear Ukrainians. A few things about today. Right now, our team is already holding meetings in Turkey. They started with the Turkish side in Ankara. Key security issues that are so important for our countries. Hourly reports. We expect that today's further opportunity at the meeting with the Russian side in Istanbul, the opportunity to take the right steps will not be wasted. We are determined to continue working to free our people from Russian captivity, to bring our Ukrainian children back, and to achieve a real ceasefire. The priority is preparing the leaders' meeting. And our delegation has the necessary strength for this. Directives for discussing the main issues. Today, the whole day has been dedicated to preparing the next stage of the exchange. We are waiting for our people to come home. It is very important that, despite all the difficulties, Ukrainians are returning home, and we are conducting checks on every single name. We are searching for all available information. There have already been quite a few cases when the guys were listed as missing, but we found them in captivity. Every time, we check all of this very carefully. Of course, there have been many meetings with government officials and representatives of law enforcement agencies. In fact, that's how my day started. The Security Service, NABU, SAPO, Interior Ministry, NACP, State Bureau of Investigation, Prosecutor General spoke in detail. It was important to me that each of them presented their arguments and their perspective. It matters that they finally said to each other what had been building up for a long time. I greatly appreciate the agreement on teamwork, on continued joint efforts, and on measures that can truly create a sense of the inevitability of punishment and therefore justice in Ukraine. We agreed that the heads of the institutions will jointly propose an action plan, a plan of concrete steps that can strengthen the power of law in Ukraine. Of course, everyone has heard what people are saying these days, what people are saying on social media, to each other on the streets. All of this is not in vain. We have analyzed all the concerns, every aspect of what needs to be changed and what should be activated. I will propose to the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine a bill that will be a response that will strengthen the law enforcement system, and there will be no Russian influence or interference in the activities of law enforcement agencies. And, very importantly, all the provisions ensuring the independence of anti-corruption institutions will be included. And I very much expect concrete proposals for the necessary provisions from our own group of leaders of law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies, as well as from the Prosecutor General of Ukraine. This will be a significant presidential bill, and we will diligently implement it as an integral part of our comprehensive national transformation strategy.
In a bid to calm public anger, President Zelenskyy announced plans for a new bill that would guarantee the independence of Ukraine's anti-corruption bodies and block any Russian influence on state institutions. We've all heard what people are saying online, in conversations, in the streets. We are listening, Zelenskyy said. Protesters argued the president hasn't addressed the most controversial elements of the bill passed earlier this week. They also noted that Parliament is now on summer recess, raising doubts about when or if these changes will actually happen.
I was under occupation. I know what it means for one person to have all the power when nothing is transparent and everything is working against you. That's why it hurts. I don't want it to be the same for us here. Law 12,414 directly leads to Russia. Ceci.
You know how it feels like now? Like at the beginning of 2014. Maidan protests. We can't stand it anymore. The situation is different. It feels like we're directing our energy the wrong way. But we have to do it. That's how it is. It's a big problem. And it feels like, now that there's a lot of noise, one can pass some amendments that nobody will notice. And even if people notice, they have not enough energy left to fight on two fronts. So you're left thinking, what can I do? But this, amendments, this is too much.
Meanwhile, Zelenskyy has not shown any signs of repealing the previous bill, and instead defended the move by saying it was necessary to clean up Ukraine's anti-corruption infrastructure due to alleged Russian connections. The weakening of the anti-corruption bodies will grant sweeping powers to Ukraine's prosecutor general, leaving it to the government's discretion which cases are pursued and which are slid under the carpet.
I expect the government of Ukraine to deliver concrete results within a month so that we can direct the maximum, the absolute maximum of our state resources toward Ukraine's defense and the resilience of our nation. We are also preparing significant steps toward deregulation to give people more freedom. We will definitely accomplish all of this. I thank everyone who supports us. And the most important thing will remain to preserve the unity of our country, to end this war, to stop this Russian evil, and to secure a just peace for Ukraine. And exactly as we all see it, as a full-fledged part of Europe. We will do it. Glory to Ukraine.